Okay, good evening, Sir Vishnu Kalajati, MPD, as my lecture of public speaking of STKIP Kusumanegara, Jakarta, and Bekasi. Good evening, my lovely friends of STKIP Kusumanegara, Jakarta, and Bekasi in the 5th semester. Before I'm starting to present about my presentations, let me introduce myself. My name is Johannes Johnny. I am from the 5th semester of STKIP Kusumanegara branch Bekasi. Today I'm going to present about one of my topic about storytelling, and let me start by sharing you about my presentation. Okay, today I'm going to present about storytelling to improve students' speaking skill at UNHASY, Jombang. Yeah, I adopt from English International Journals from Miss Mukminatun Juhria from Jombang, and she researched about storytelling to improve students' speaking skill at UNHASY Jombang. So let me start. Introduction. As social human, people always interact and communicate one another. The first way to do the interactions and communication is by speaking. In this case, the people express their ideas and communicate what they want orally. That is why speaking is very essential, moreover, speaking in English. Before we go for the next slide, let me explain you something about speaking. I know that nowadays we are here as students of STKIP Kusumanegara. Every time we do speaking with others, with our lecturers, and with friends around us. So now I'm going to tell you speaking based on some experts. The first one, IA and Pew in 2015 in PETS 1, they state that we need an effective English speaking skill in the whole life aspect in this globalization era. And the second expert says, his name is Sepafant in 2014 in her journal 1847. She argues that there are some reasons to put speaking as the first aim of studies, such as personal satisfactions from being able to speak and reaching other interests or career goals. And the third, Sir Tahir in 2015 in 174 pages, he says that somebody is considered successful in learning a foreign language when he or she has the ability to speak it. And the other expert says from Gert and Hans in Avrija in 2012 and page 127, he says that speaking is speech or utterances produced by the speaker with an intention of being known, and then the listener processes the things in order to know the speaker's intention. Next, the expert Irawati in 2014 and part 26, she says, speaking as an activity to produce things in the form of words and sentences orally in order to communicate with others. And the next, from Koraz Hazadeh in 2014, page 12, she states that speaking needs not only the learner's understanding about the way to produce the linguistic competence such as grammar, pronunciations, and vocabulary, but also comprehensions about sociolinguistic competence such as when, why, and how to speak. Okay, let's move on for the next slide. Okay, when we do some speaking, sometimes problem happen to us. For example, the cases of students' low speaking skill ability. Based on David expert in 2016 on page 342, she says that not having enough time in practicing speaking. Second, not having enough vocabulary. And the third, not having interest in speaking because of an interesting teaching method. And the fourth, not being able to relate the speaking content to their real life. And second expert said Lopez in 2011, page 4, she stated that providing speaking strategies, giving the foreign language learners large chance to communicate in the language being learned is essential. And the third, Melendez, Zavala, and Mendes, 2014, in their research page 549, they say that speaking is the main challenge for the beginners and often makes them frustrations, so that speaking strategies for the beginners are needed very much. And then the last from Akbar, 2014, in her page 92, he argues that encouraging the students to read a certain text can solve the problem of the hesitations and the weakness of speaking. Okay, while we talk about our students' lack in ability in speaking, there are some experts say they argue how to give the students their successful in speaking. The first, or in Hayak and Indramawant in 2013, page 20 says, the first, the language learners talk so much. And the second, all the participants of speaking activity get the opportunity. And the third, the language learners are highly motivated and have interest in the speaking. And the fourth, the language produced is at a acceptable level. And we're going to focus about the topics about storytelling. Storytelling is to retell story, having read or heard by using the storyteller's own words, based on their understanding about the story. Let's say from Zaro and Saberi in Akhiak and Indramawant, 2013, page 20, they describe storytelling is an activity involving the interactions between storyteller and audience, and between an individual and the listener in the certain level. And the second expert says Safdarian in 2013, page 208. He defines that storytelling as the way of the students to retell stories in a different word constructions after being told the stories by the teacher. Okay, when we give the storytelling to our students, there are kinds or there are rules that we need to learn, we need to understand how the procedures of storytelling. Based on Samantari 2014, page 42, he describes the procedures of storytelling as follows. Okay, so I give you some ideas, some tips based on Samantari. Okay, the first, the teachers hangs different written stories with colorful papers on the whiteboard. Okay, the second, the teacher asks the students to make groups. And the third, the teacher asks every group to take a paper from the whiteboard. And the fourth, the teacher asks them to develop a story in 15 minutes. And the fifth, the teacher asks them to retell the story based on the group discussions. And the sixth, the teacher gives award to the group considered as the best group. Yeah, just to make sure that the procedures of storytelling, we are a teacher, we know that how we manage the class, how we conduct the class. So this is the the ideas. This is the tips from Sir Samantari. Okay, let's go for the next slide. Okay, when we give the students about storytelling, yeah, something we need to know how to give them a score. It means that when we give them tasks to do storytelling, and then I mean that the student will get they will have their eager, they have their positive way, so they're going to be active to do the storytelling. And then if we give them some score, I mean that this is the way for us to have some scores, so we know that students are improvement. Yeah, okay, the scoring rubric of speaking skills based on Mukminatun Zuhriya research. Yeah, the first she adapted from Malani in 2013, page 35. The first they use the standards of that scoring. The first one is comprehensions. In comprehension, it means that the ability of the students to understand the language. The second is vocabulary. Vocabulary is meaning that the ability to correctly use the words of the language correctly. And grammar, the ability to produce complete and accurate sentences. Fluency, the ability of the students to speak coherently without undue hesitation, either in answering the questions or in talking about a topic. And the last is pronunciation, the ability of the students to pronounce each word correctly. Okay, so this is the summary about the topic for today. It means storytelling could improve speaking skills of students of class and in the second semester in UNHASY. That's all about storytelling. I adapt from Miss Mukminatun Zuhira. She is the lecturers of University in Jombang, and I adopt her journal. So that's all about the presentations about storytelling to improve student speaking skill. Yeah, at school. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you for having this time with me. I do hope these presentations will give you an additional or a point of view to teach your student at the school. So it means that not so really necessary for you to have it all, but you can take some of the points for you to give to your student to build their speaking skills. Finally, thank you so much for having this time with me with my presentation, and I do hope I will see you next time and with good conditions. Thank you. God bless us all.